Space nerds! If you haven't heard about Exodus, this is a new space RPG third-person adventure game with platforming and crafting and a story and time dilation. Ooh, and animals with full-on human souls in them, or like enlightened animals, awakened animals, like polar bears that can fight alongside you and fly spaceships. It's an interesting game. And it's coming out next year. Alongside The Expanse of Cyrus Reborn, alongside potentially Squadron 42, we are going to have one hell of a space game year next year. But it's been hard to figure out what this game looks like. Luckily, they have released like 12 different clips of gameplay here in very short formats that I've not watched all of them, and I imagine some of you might have missed them. So I figured we'd go through each of these, and I'm not going to spend too much time pausing on them so that you guys can actually watch them through. And we'll just have a couple words, a little bit of chatter in between each clip. I just want to give you guys some hands-on, some eyes-on, rather, because it's an interesting game. They're going to show off some gameplay next week at Summer Games Fest, and I think everybody who likes space games should have an eye on this at least, just to keep, be in the loop, all that kind of jazz. That's why you hang out with Space Tomato, right? Trying to keep you updated on space game stuff. All right, first clip, a little bit of combat. Loving the audio. Watch Todd pop out from the side of the screen and be like, "You can go there!" To be honest, this is the most standard action RPG platforming I could imagine. Not necessarily a bad thing, it just doesn't inspire me that much, but I like a nice environment. Grandpa. All right. Session 1, a little bit of gameplay there, combat, platforming, typical stuff. This is what you would expect from a game like this. It does not say anything that's going to blow you away. I think they're going to show us the most impressive stuff on the stage next week. But these are still, I think they're nice snippets. It's an interesting way of doing the marketing campaign. It's fun to watch all these different studios figure out how they want to market their games differently, because the environment is just not as homogenous as it used to be in releasing a game. So I appreciate that they're trying something. The sound is consistently impressing me. Got a little action wheel. I don't even need to tell you what games this reminds you of. I think the screen looks pretty good though. You got your party members down here. Easy enough to see which powers they can do. I'm not sure how you select either one. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're different buttons. They only have one button highlighted there. You can easily craft. It looks like crafting ammo is going to be a thing you got to do for each weapon separately. Repeater ammo, so there's probably per weapon class. You got some powers and abilities. Yeah, this is very Mass Effect. Sorry. Puberty. Ooh! All right. Showing us the weapon choice. I think it certainly looks like a fun and entertaining third-person RPG. Need some more, though. The craziest thing to me is the most interesting part of this entire game that they've talked about has been the time dilation, the fact that you go off and do these missions and then you return back home and things are different because you've been away for hundreds of years. That could be incredible. That reminds me of the old stuff Peter Molyneux used to say about Fable back in the day. Not to put any pressure on Fable, but that's the kind of thing that I think will tie people into a game. That creates some crazy cool moments that other people you at least feel like won't get. But they haven't shown any of it yet. It's just this stuff, and maybe that's going to be their big reveal. Slow hero walk. You always got to show off the slow hero walk. All right, next one. It looks like we are in a hazardous location for this one. Huh? Okay, that's a different menu. So outside of the action wheel, you also got an easy D-pad selector for your powers and stuff. Typical for games like this. This thing, I feel like I'm going to want to turn this thing off, man. This has been active in almost every single scene, and I think it's just kind of like your codex. Discover stuff, learn new things, but I cannot have this constantly popping up on the side of the screen like that. I gotta read the book for this year. Easy enough to switch between powers. All right, so there is a pretty solid amount of interactivity, even if it's not incredibly sandbox focused, like this is clearly driving you down a path. This is like a decent amount of different types of things you have to do. The shaping is all just pressing the same button, but at least it's wrapped in a different kind of wrapping paper. It makes traversing these areas more interesting, I'll say that much. Simple stuff. Worth seeing, though. The audiobook is 30 hours long. Jeez, ow. Well, not too bad when you're coming off of Way of Kings. But yeah, I got to make time for that. I still got plenty of other stuff I need to be reading. What is this? More combat? What the kids call exploration these days? If you didn't notice, your guy in this game is kind of like this super special guy who encountered some artifact and got some vision that told him some stuff and gave him some powers. If that doesn't sound familiar, don't worry. Super novel. Very original. But that's where these powers are coming from. Just to be clear, this game was written by the same person who wrote... Actually, let me confirm that. Before I go saying a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure he wrote KOTOR and Mass Effect, right? Yeah. Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect. So this guy also wrote Exodus, if I'm not mistaken. And there are several people. Yeah, narrative director on Exodus. So he didn't write it, but he was a narrative director. And there were also a few other people who worked in Archetype on this. Yeah, James Olin, and Chad Robertson. Both are also on the team making Exodus. They were also part of BioWare during its heyday. So like you're gonna just see a lot of that influence all over this game. Drew is writing? Okay. Hold on, I missed some of this. This is looking a little more interesting. It's like nice verticality. I'm actually digging the enemy designs. They're growing on me. Wait, what the heck was that back there? What is this? It's like a spawn point. Jesus, man, there's a lot going on. So this is a slightly different wheel than we saw before. This is probably your powers wheel. The other one was probably weapons and stuff. Oh, this looks like maybe it's a party wheel. Status effects on enemies. Plenty of fun to be had around the powers. Yeah, that's definitely a step up in terms of the combat compared to the earlier ones, in my opinion. I liked it. I like what I'm seeing. The enemies are still very, they do the same thing, sort of at the same time. You can see the programming in them, but is this the one we just watched? No? Some stealth. Classic, you gotta mark people before you go into the scene. Take me back, Splinter Cell. Stealth in these games is always... I hate it because I'm really bad at stealth in the sense that I get super freaked out, so nervous. Like if somebody spots me in a stealth game, you might as well kill me in real life. It's over. But at the same time, I'm also just embarrassed by how easy it is to do something in a stealth game and nobody notices you. Like, come on, like you wouldn't notice somebody behind you here, but again, if it was like real life and people actually noticed you, it'd be so hard. So I don't know, I'm always stuck on these situations. I want it to be real, but real would be too difficult. And like, listen to how loud that is. Come on, man, you can't just be doing that to people right next to their friends. Oh no. Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, stealth is funny. Stealth is funny, but it changes the pacing of the game. And I get why you want to keep it there. All right, here is a city. So you're going to have multiple planets, multiple cities. Like I said, there's that whole time dilation thing. So you're going to be gone and coming back to the city at different times. That's what really interests me. How much do things change when you are gone? And how much do your choices affect that change? Like, wouldn't it be sick if in between missions you see these entire construction projects complete and you get to go visit the building maybe for like a side quest or something? I hope that there's more to these cities than just a backdrop that you see when you're going in and visiting your home. Lore! Spaceships! Wow, talk about a weightless spaceship. Jesus, you guys gonna need a little more effects on that. At least some sound. Sounds like a speedboat slipping past. All right. What's up next? Conversations. This is the most jarring video, in my opinion. And it makes me kind of sad because when I think of a BioWare-like or a Mass Effect-like, I'm thinking of a conversation that sounds very natural, that rolls smoothly. I feel like I'm involved in and driving. This kind of reminded me of Osiris Reborn. Sorry to make already pre-mold your guys' opinions, but I'll let you get the full listen here.
When you look out at this cave, the ruins, what do you see? Can you describe it to me?
The walls are towering, celestial. But the cave is starting to reclaim them. The colors are all muted in the dark. Grays and browns. Some green where lichen is growing. The light from the surface is catching in the dust. Looks like fog.
It sounds lovely put like that. The way I perceive the same sight is quite different. More LiDAR than stereoscopic vision. Volume, shape, mass. My drone feeds me data, not video. I know there is light. I could tell you it's precise radiometry and photometry, but I can't see it. But there are things I can see, metaphorically speaking, or, maybe metaphysically. You've seen it, the way I can interact with some celestial glyphs. I'm not like you. It isn't built into me the same way. But there is a connection. And it's getting stronger. Evolution. Adaptation. The virus changes. I change.
Doesn't that worry you? Being changed?
No. Yes, sometimes. It's inevitable. Necessary for survival. The Celestials know that. We have to learn. That's why I'm so interested in the remnant that might be down here. It's all about change.
You still haven't told me what this remnant is.
Difficult to explain. Better to show you. If we can find it. Come on, let's go look.
So, this to me really made it feel like two people reading off of a script instead of people having a conversation. Like, there's something about the delivery that I think it's like right around this part, maybe?
Adaptation. The virus change.
Is this part? Yeah, this part. Like, this just sounds to me like people literally reading.
But the cave is starting to reclaim them. The colors are all muted in the dark. Grays and browns. Some green where lichen is growing. The light from the surface is catching in the dust. Looks like fog.
It also seems like the editing is really off. Like the timing, listen to how quickly he goes into the next line
here.
Light
from the surface is catching. Grays and
right
browns.
There.
Some green where lichen is growing. The light from the surface is catching.
Like, that almost sounds like different recordings. And then she does kind of the same thing here. If you listen to the way her lines start, they're very, very fast off the ends of the old ones.
Shape, mass. My drone feeds me data, not video. I know there is light. I could tell you it's precise.
Like, would you really say I know that quickly?
My drone feeds me data, not video. I know there is light. I could tell you it's precise radiometry and photometry, but I can't see it. But there are things I can't.
Or right there, she just immediately says, but there are things.
And photometry, but I can't see it. But there are things I can see, metaphorically speaking, or...
So I think that's really what draws me out of this conversation. But to be honest, I am interested in it. The lore, like trying to understand what is this? Is it a virus she got from Celestials who are not quite their own species and can consist of different races, and humans are to an extent Celestials. So does this virus lead her in that direction? The lore is definitely getting me. I'm interested. I want to hear more. But I think that I'm glad that they've got another year to edit this stuff in. Obviously, it's not final, and they have that time. I just hope they are. Here is something else that we're seeing. What is this? Stealth? Oh no, these are your people. Oh, he loves that one. Yay! That was a shorter one. Jump straight into the next one. Another location, more atmosphere. Wonder how much RMC this is. Looks like a solid salvage job. They're showing a lot of the locations that we saw in concept art during these videos. A lot of it is just showing the atmosphere, the design of the game, giving you a sense of the characters and movement, UI. Definitely, they feature these two characters in a lot of these videos. You do get a lot of these moments, too, where it seems like the UI is fairly minimal. I like that. And then finally, I think we have one more that just released 3 days ago. Mission briefing. Oh, this is an actual cutscene.
I must thank you for this opportunity, June. For allowing me to be part of this. For choosing to aid me.
Yeah, this already, the dialogue sounds way more natural.
Neither of us can do this alone. If we're going to save Leiden, then we need you as much as you need us.
I share a similar sentiment. Are you familiar with Elijah Nath, founder of my dynasty? He was one of Orion's most trusted allies and an expert on the rot. He left on an exodus many decades ago and never returned. However, a few weeks ago, I received a ping from the emergency beacon of Elijah's ship, the Collada.
No point in waiting around. Next stop, Sang.
I'm interested. Tell me more. I want to play. Honestly, the game itself, I'm not blown away, and I kind of like that. I don't need to be blown away. This looks like it looks like a pretty interesting space adventure game with characters that I want to know more about. This like kind of younger Tom Cruise looking guy that's apparently lost that we have to go find his ship. With decent gameplay and pretty good sound design. As far as a space game goes, dude, I'm not asking for much. We don't get much, okay? The last decade was like, we got Mass Effect Andromeda, Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds, and Mass Effect 3 at the beginning of the decade. Like, I'm cool with them trying out some more stuff. They've got a lot of lore here, which I think is one of the best parts. You can go read the books separately. There's so freaking much here to learn in terms of the trailers they've released, the Q&A videos that they've done with the founders and the people who have been working on the game. I talked about the awakened animals, didn't I?
Know, the Awakened have a long, proud history of contribution to our home.
Oh yeah, also this guy. What's his name again? Interstellar dude? Murph! Matthew McConaughey. He is also very closely involved in this in terms of, oh yeah, No Man's Sky. Thank you, Beck City. Oh my god, I'm awful. He does a lot of the voiceovers and stuff for this.
World. But how familiar are you really with the origins of your awakened neighbors? Take the awakened bears. Because of their resilient physiology, their ancestors were charged with bringing medical care to early human colonies living in the
one of these bears helped with Elphaba's birth.
Cluster. A noble beginning for a species that today can be found too often working as mere military muscle. From life-saving medic to deadly soldier. Do we call that progress? I'm Cece Orlev. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Is he supposed to be like a journalist? Most sensual journalist I've ever heard. Dude, you put Gatling guns on bears and I'm going to play the game. The game looks sick. It's got really interesting ideas. I think this has enough weird, cool, and interesting to be a tentpole RPG game for this genre, for the space games. We'll see how it performs. We'll see how it does. The big gameplay reveal comes at Summer Games Fest in a couple of days, so I do think that that's going to be a chance where a lot of folks do wake up to this game and start to pay more attention. I wish them the best. I hope it goes well, and I will keep you guys updated on where this game is headed.